was asked about, the reports about a big summer. And he said, well, signing Virgil and Mo is already a big summer. And people have lost their shit over that. But it is factually true. Like, no matter who we sign this summer, we're not signing anybody better than Virgil or Mo. They're the two best players in the Premier League. They're world-class, best in position, all-time talents. If you're making a World 11, they're two of the very first picks that go into that 11. Of course, signing them to new deals is a massive thing. And it contributes towards a big summer. If we'd lost them, it was a total rebuild. Now, as I said a few weeks back, there was no need to fear the idea of a total rebuild, because we would be starting from such a strong point regardless. With Mamardashvili, with Ibu, with Alexis McAllister, plus a number of very good squad players, we'd be in a far better position for a rebuild now than we were in 2016. Financially, we're much better off. On the pitch, we're a much better product. We're much more enticing right now than we were in 2016 as well. And we have a better squad and a better academy than we had in 2016. So the rebuild wasn't something to be feared, and it is something that could have been done in, 3 windows. This summer, January, and next summer, we'd have been able to rebuild a title caliber team. But having Virgil and Mo stick around means that we're already a title caliber team. We're winning the league this season as evidence of that. And the two most important players are sticking around, as are number 3 in Alexis, number 4 in Ali, and number 5 in Ibu. The 5 most important players to this title will be at the club next season. That is a big summer, because it means that we walk into next season as a title contender. Now, the other side of this is Arna saying that he's happy with the squad. What else is he going to say in mid-April? It's mid-April. The title's not won yet. And we're 13 points clear. So what do you expect him to say? Oh no, the squad is crap. I need at least 9 players this summer. How do you think that goes down with the players if he says that? Do you think they're automatically enthused to play on Sunday? Or do you think a lot of them are looking around thinking, hang on, who's he talking about here? Is he talking about you? Is he talking about me? Is my position here in doubt? And all of a sudden, major doubts creep in. And the atmosphere gets moody in the dressing room, which is not what we need as we try to wrap up the title. He's also not going to say, oh, the players are crap, when we're going to try and sell a whole bunch of them in the summer. We need clubs thinking these are good players so that they give us some lovely legal tender so that we can then invest that into new players. Managers rarely tell the truth when they sit in press conferences. Jurgen used to lie every single week. Every single week. And the same shit would happen. People would lose their minds. And then it would be proven to be a lie a couple of days later, and they just shrugged their shoulders and wait for them to lie again so that they could lose their minds again. And the reason managers lie, every single manager up and down the Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, the Bundesliga, every single league you can think of, the reason they lie is because, number one, they're trying to control a narrative. Number two, they're trying to protect their players. And number three, most of them don't trust the media. Because why would they? Why would they trust the media? In an era of clickbait and sensationalism, where the headline is what matters, not the content of the story, managers do not want to say anything salacious. They don't want to say anything controversial because they know what will happen. Even if it's borderline controversial, they know how it gets spun. And managers are far less trusting of the media than they used to be. Number one, there's far more media now than there used to be. So therefore, there's too many people to know. Number two, it's a far more transient community now. People change between outlets far more regularly than they used to. Back in the day, a journalist might join the Times at 21 and stay there 15, 20 years. Or join the Guardian and do the same, or the Telegraph, or the Indo. Or the Indie, I think you call it in England. We call it the Indo in Ireland. And those journalists would work with managers to shape narratives because they wanted to have that in order to be able to say to their paymasters, I've got this good relationship with the manager here. So, I can get an interview, I can get a quote, I can get background on stuff. Now, journalists chop and change, and they're not hired on their relationships with managers. They're hired on what sources they can get for stories behind the scenes that are either controversial, salacious, or transfer related. Like, we have a whole ecosystem of spoofers. And I'm not going to name them. You all know who they are. You all know who they work for. Mostly online outlets that are just spoofers that make up transfer news, that will walk into a meeting with a new potential employer and say, well, I've got relationships at this club and this club and this club, when they don't at all. And it's all about clicks. And if they're not getting their clicks, if they're not meeting their quota of page views, they're out on the rear and someone else is in the door instead of them. And that has gone from just the online crap all the way through what we would have previously seen as the reputable outlets. So managers don't build relationships with journalists anymore, vice versa. It just doesn't happen anymore the way it used to. Because the faces change too often. There's too many people in the room. And if somebody is moving outlet to outlet to outlet, they're going to have bosses with different demands of them. Yes, somebody working for the Times might be told, look, this is what we want you to do. We want you to build that relationship, be able to get a good quote, be able to get an interview, get some behind the scenes information. But we're looking for, broadsheet reporting. We're looking for broadsheet reporting here. But then they might move to, say, The Guardian, who've moved to a very different type of model online. Still have the paper, but it's a lot more online now. And they might say, look, this business now is not about the content of the story. It's about the headline. It's about the eye-catching headline that we want people to click on. And if the story's a bit disappointing to them, so be it. Managers are wise to all of this. So they don't tell the media nearly as much as they would have back in the day. They don't do big sit-downs with journalists like they did back in the day. When managers do media availability now, and oftentimes they might do 5 or 6 interviews in one day, people are getting 15 to 20 minutes to sit down with the manager, and they're asking pre-approved questions for the most part. And most of them are asking the same questions. Oftentimes, they're given the questions and told, this is what you can ask. Phrase it how you want. This is what you can ask, and these are the things you cannot touch. Do not ask about this, or this interview will not be allowed to be aired.
Reds, it's Jack here, and that was a clip from one of Anfield Index's audio podcasts. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure you do like, share and subscribe to keep up to date on all things LFC. We record around 100 audio podcasts every month, with our shows featuring match-going fans, top journalists, professional analysts and even Liverpool legends along the way, with the great Dane himself, Jan Molby, joining us every single week. If you want to listen to all our podcasts for free, head over to anfieldindex.com/podcasts. Our audio shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Anfield Index. Or if you prefer to listen to all our podcasts in full and without any ads, why not head over to AI Pro today to check it out now at AnfieldIndexPro.com. If you want to get involved in the great growing community of Liverpool fans, check out the Anfield Index Discord. The link is in the description. Do get involved with that from Reds around every corner of the globe. For now, Reds, hope you enjoyed this video.